Yes, day 3. Welcome back, my friends. So I'm starting off with a white eyeliner. This one is by LA Girl, and I'm using this to map out the Witchdoctor shape. I want to make it look like a little bit of a skull, like I have a skull mask, like someone else's skull is sitting on my face. So I'm just going to etch out around the cheekbones, the temple area, and the nose. This tutorial is very similar to my Lady Gaga skull tutorial. That's like when it comes to like shading and all that fun stuff. So now I'm taking Mayron's Paradise Paint, which is a water-activated face paint, which is relatively cheap. I'm using this to now color in the parts that would be the skull on this Witchdoctor makeup. And I'm using this small Sigma brush for it. This is pretty self-explanatory. Spent a lot of time on here. So how's your October going? You guys doing good? This clip is so long. Now I'm taking Cocoa Bear by Makeup Geek, which is probably my favorite eyeshadow ever, and I'm using this on a flat definer brush by Sigma, and I'm going to now clean up that white line around the eye socket. So what this is going to do is it's going to clean up around those lines around there, and it's also going to add and function as our transition color to really add that depth to make the skull look like it's sitting over the eyes. So I'm using this angled brush and I'm changing up the shape and I'm kind of getting it a more grimacing look, so that's why I'm turning it upward. And once you have that done, I'm taking a fluffy brush and I'm adding Cocoa Bear all over to my eye, fading into my eyelid. I am going to leave my eyelid bare because I'm adding a little bit of a lighter eyeshadow too, again, to add the most depth. Going in back with that brush, I'm now using a black eyeshadow, and I am going around those same lines right at the perimeter of the skull outline, and I'm using that, and then I'm to define the line even further, and then fade it upwards closer towards my eye. And then you're going to see that it's going to start to give you that dimension, and all of that movement, and all that great stuff that we want. You know what I mean? I love makeup looks like this that really have like a nice, clean, blended transition. I think they're really fun. They look very finished, and they're my favorite in the world, so that's why I'm real excited about this one. But again, just keep adding. You want the darkest part to be right at the rim of the white in the eye, and then you want it to fade outwards as a gradient. So just keep working on that. Once you have that done, we are going to do the same step underneath the skull. So again, same flat brush, taking Cocoa Bear by Makeup Geek, and I'm blending that down and straightening up that line. That's why you don't have to focus on getting this white to be perfect right off the bat, because we're going to go in and clean it up anyway. But this makeup look has a lot of repetition, so I'm basically going to do this technique all over the entire face. Sorry, I'm like getting sick or something up in here. But so I'm starting around the perimeter and with Cocoa Bear, and then now with the black eyeshadow, I'm going to deepen that up even further. So you can see now it's starting to give you that nice fade. There's like something about like a blended smoky eye or like a gradient when it's done right. It just looks so beautiful, you know? It's just, I can look at it all day. Once that's done, we're going to clean this up even further, and I'm taking this Ico felt tip liquid eyeliner, and I'm going to rim that right at the white, and that's going to give you maximum like explosion. But right before it sets, I'm going to blend it out just a little bit, because I want the stark part of the line to be on the top, and I want it to fade outwards. So you know what I'm saying? I want the white of the skull to be the most defined, and then everything to fade out underneath it. Do you feel me? So now, same thing. This is how it's just like my Lady Gaga skull tutorial. We're going to start creating a little bit of a ridge or a raised edge right at the outlines of that skull. So I'm starting with Cocoa Bear, and I'm creating this nice little line. Make sure it's even all the way down. And I'm going to start fading Cocoa Bear upwards to start adding depth and make the skull look like it has more dimension and a little bit of raised areas, sunken in areas, vice versa. So we're just going to do the same thing before with Cocoa Bear and then black. Notice how I'm transitioning and interchanging, blending and adding over and over. That's really the trick to blending things like that. You want it to be real smooth, so you want it to go a little bit at a time. But once that's done, we're going to do the same thing with the felt tip eyeliner, and we're going to rim that bad boy just a little bit. The line I'm trying for the line on this one to be a little bit thinner than the rest, but then again, you know, just do the damn thing. So now I don't really know what this is called, but we're going to create a nice, like a sunken in section. So it's the cheekbones here, and then it flows into a new sunken in section. So I'm doing the same thing with Cocoa Bear and then that black eyeshadow. And we're going to start creating like these like little like sockets and like deep divots in the skull. I later want that cheekbone ridge to not connect to it, so I take that out in like a second. But right now I think it looks weird. See, I didn't really like how they connected, so I'm just taking a little bit of white face paint and taking it off. And then you should look something like this. So now we're going to go on to the nose. I'm feeling a little weird with this voiceover now because I'm like, okay, now we're going to do the exact same thing over here, and now we're going to do the exact same thing over here, but we're just going to do the exact same thing over here. So I'm just taking Cocoa Bear, and I'm outlining the white, and I'm creating like a new shape, how I want it to look, and I'm fading that inwards towards the tip of my nose. And then, with a really nice diviner brush, taking black eyeshadow again, and we're going to start fading that into Cocoa Bear. Isn't this revolutionary? It's great. I'll take a sip of my coffee while I watch me do this. How you guys doing? You guys should tweet me how your week has been and what you guys are doing this weekend, because I miss you. Boom! Okay, we're getting somewhere. Okay, so I'm popping in my white contacts. I got these from Camo Eyes, and I will have them linked down below in the description box. But guess what? We're going to do the same thing that we've been doing this whole time on the forehead. Isn't that so groundbreaking? So now I'm just taking Cocoa Bear on that same definer brush by Sigma, which is actually my favorite flat top brush. So I'll have that linked down below too. But just, you know, cleaning up the white lines with the Cocoa Bear, fading it outwards towards my hair, and then going in with the black eyeshadow after that to deepen up that bad boy. And then once that's done, take your Ico felt tip liquid eyeliner and define it even more. Could you die? This is crazy. I die. Oh, there it is. Ico felt tip liquid eyeliner. I'll probably have to say the whole thing. This is going to be like a voiceover / like we're just going to talk and hang out while we watch me do this skull, because these clips are so long, but it's such a simple concept. I don't know the name of this eyeshadow. It's by Makeup Geek. Oh my god, I'm dying, sorry. It's by Makeup Geek, and it's a little bit lighter than Cocoa Bear, and I'm using this to contour. Because Witchdoctors contour, because how do you think they stay so skinny? Duh. So we're just using that in all the typical contour places. You've seen it once, you've seen it a million times. I'm doing the temples, the brow bone, you know. Oh my god, I'm like really getting sick, y'all. I'm not gonna edit any of this out. This is raw me, unedited. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, brow bone. So this is actually a really great brush for special effects and beauty. It's essentially a gigantic blending brush. It's by Sigma. It's my favorite, and I love it. So I'll have that link down below too if you guys want to check it out. It can like literally do all kinds of stuff. But now I'm taking a gray eyeshadow, and I'm making sure, this is like a real trick, I'm making sure that once I apply the brush into the eyeshadow, I'm dusting it off on the back of my hand because I don't want to go in with a very concentrated amount of product. I want it to be very soft. So this is even how much it's going on after I've buffed it out on my hand first. So you really want to do a little bit at a time. And I'm using that gray to then further define these brow bones and all that good stuff. So you want to apply that gray eyeshadow at the base of where you applied the lighter version of Cocoa Bear, whose name I don't know. And then I'm taking a blush brush, or a highlighting brush, and I'm going to blend it out. And then I realize that it's a little bit too fluffy, so if you really want to buff something out, you switch to a smaller brush. I'm going to use like a really, really, really tiny highlighter brush, and I'm really just going to like buff, and blend for days. Really blending is what can take you from a well-done makeup to like a, almost there makeup. So definitely just blend. So the very last step is I took this Crayola Model Magic, which is essentially Play-Doh that dries as foam. You can get it at Target, Walmart, anywhere, stores around you. And it's the best. It dries and it's light enough so you can still glue it to your face. So it can be used for a lot of different things for Halloween. Horns, teeth, whatever. But that concludes this tutorial. And definitely this is a collab, again, with Jordan Hanz. Nothing new here, so definitely subscribe and follow her. She's the best. She did a little voodoo doll, my little soulmate. But I love you guys so much. And my god, my throat. Thank you guys so much for sharing these videos and sharing the concept of the 31 days of Halloween. It seriously means so much to me, and just get the word out there. My life goal is to be at 100,000 subscribers after Halloween, so let's see if we can get there. I love you guys so much, and I will see you guys in the next video. And if you guys want to recreate this look or any of the looks that I do in the 31 days of Halloween, please tag me. I want to see them. I love it when you guys do that so much, and I can't wait to see what you guys come up with. Bye, friends. I'm a witch doctor. What?
What's hanging off your face?
Bones of my enemies.
Oh!